Hey everybody, this truck right here is the GMC Sierra Elevation fit with the 3-liter Duramax diesel. Now when GM revealed its new Duramax diesel, it said that you could get up to 33 miles per gallon on the highway. But there's a catch. That's only in the Silverado. The Sierra here, best it can do is 30 miles per gallon on the highway. That's pretty weird. These trucks are identical, aren't they? Well, coming up in this video, we're gonna go on a 100-mile road trip and we will test the fuel economy of this truck right here, and then I will reveal the reasons why the fuel economy is different between this truck and its twin brother, the Silverado. Oh, and of course, we'll talk about the Elevation package. What are we waiting for? Let's go. Now before we hit the road, everybody, I want to go over the build sheet with you so you know what we're working with here. So this is a 2020 Sierra 1500 Elevation. Now once again, keep in mind, this is a Canadian truck, so these are all Canadian prices. Now, this Elevation package actually comes with quite a few decent features right off the bat. The Turbo i4, well, that's the standard engine in this package, and you're getting the transfer case, you're getting 4-wheel drive, teen driver mode, some of those safety features. But here's where Elevation really does its thing. You're getting a bunch of stylistic features like those LED fog lamps, 20-inch gloss black aluminum wheels, the LEDs all around, and then just a whole bunch more convenience features, plus all the body color stuff. And that monochromatic look is really the calling card of the Elevation. Now on the inside, you get some decent features too. Remote start, keyless open, of course, the rear defogger. You get the 4.2-inch screen up in the driver's info cluster. So Elevation is really going for value, everybody. And base price for this truck, $51,500. Now, we move on though, and there's even more. So you can add this extra Elevation package. It's an equipment group. This is going to get you the bucket seats up front, the trailering package, the G80 rear locker, dual automatic climate control. Again, a whole bunch of other convenience features, because that's what Elevation is trying to be. It's trying to be a value package to offer you more for less. Now, bumping up to the diesel here, it's a $4,830 option, which at first blush doesn't really seem out of the realm. $4,000 is usually about what you pay for a half-ton diesel. Now, moving on, we also have just a couple other things, the sunroof, the driver alert package, and that brings us all the way over here to our total price of $67,533. And I guess that once again just backs up what everyone knows, which is that trucks are really expensive these days. Even the value package on the Sierra is still over 60 G's. Now, to be fair, again, there are a lot of options on this truck. The base would have been closer to 50, but even so, the prices can climb on these trucks so fast. So guys, now you know what this truck is. Let's go for a drive and I'll tell you how it works. So now we're getting her all filled up, and this truck was bone dry, so this is going to be a full tank, so it'll be interesting to see how much it takes. Let's fill it up. All right, there's the first click. Now we wait 30 seconds, fill it up again to the second click, and we're all right, here we go. Boom, there it is, full tank. Okay, everybody, we're back in, and you can see right there, we got a full tank of diesel. Now, the average on this truck right now is 9.9 liters per 100. Really impressive. We're going to go ahead and reset trip 1, and we'll also go through all the screens here. So our full range on a full tank of fuel is 824 kilometers. Oil life, tire pressure, air filter. This is a great screen too. It'll show you your average for your trip and then the best average you've managed. And you can actually go in here and pick the distance. So for that best average, you can have your best average over the last 50, over the last 100, or the last 650 kilometers. So cool little feature there that lets you pick. We're gonna go ahead and reset the best score. And yeah, now we're gonna head into town and see if we can't beat it. And you can see right there as well, we are in auto 4-wheel drive. This truck has an auto setting, which means that it's basically all-wheel drive. If it detects slip, it will send power to all four wheels. If there's no slip, it'll basically be rear wheel. Now, it is a dry day today, so I expect we'll be in rear wheel most of the time. And what are we waiting for? Let's do it. And here we are out here on the open road. So first of all, let me say, you might have noticed by now my voice is kind of hoarse. I'm coming down with something that's not great, so sorry for the raspy tones. We're out here on the road now, and the first thing I need to mention is this truck is riding on snow tires, a set of Observe G3s by Toyo, and that is definitely going to affect the fuel economy. Snow tires are usually good for sort of 1 to 2 miles per gallon worse than what you might get with a regular sort of all-season tire. So that's one thing to keep in mind. In terms of weather, though, it's nice dry conditions today. The onboard computer here says 6 degrees Celsius outside, so it's actually pretty warm for a late December day. So on the way into the city, which is where we're at right now, we're going to take secondary highways where the speed limit is generally 80 kilometers an hour. Now, we're going to keep our truck right between 80 and 90 and make sure we do not go faster than 90K, just to give you a sense for what we're doing. Although on the way back, we're going to take the highway, and when we do that, we're definitely going to be going faster than 90. Before I talk more about how the truck drives, let's talk about that fuel economy discrepancy, and it actually has everything to do with the way the government tests fuel economy. So when the government runs its fuel economy testing, it has to use a pretty highly contented version of that vehicle. So basically what the EPA says is if there is a 30% take rate on a feature, well then it has to be used in the fuel economy testing. That makes sense. Basically, if a truck is leaving the lot with tons of features, but the fuel economy test was run on a two-wheel drive base version, those numbers are never going to match up. So this is the reason why the Silverado and the Sierra don't share fuel economy ratings. The Sierra is generally a more expensive truck. It has more options and more features. So when the testing was run on this truck, it was heavier straight up than the Silverado was, and that accounts for that 3 mile per gallon discrepancy. That's not the whole reason though. GM also says there's some aerodynamics at play here as well. To go for this sort of big, boxy, bold front end on the Sierra, well, you're giving up some aerodynamic efficiency, especially compared to the new Silverado, which I think the design is more sleek than it's been probably ever. Oh, and by the way, for fuel economy comparison, here's a screenshot directly from fueleconomy.gov showing all the differences. Guys, I have to tell you right now, I really like this 3-liter diesel. I think one of the most important things here is the power comes on super smooth, but also really linear. You get this really nice hit of torque down low, and it just really linearly progresses up through the ratios. Now, we do have 10 speeds here, and the fact that GM was able to use that 10 speed just means you're going to get more torque off the line and better fuel economy when you're cruising. Because remember, with the 10 speed, the top 3 ratios are overdrive ratios. So adding all of those gears really does help with both things that you want out of a diesel truck: low-end torque and good highway fuel economy. Purely looking at the drive, this thing is an excellent road trip machine. It's nice and quiet and smooth, and then the power is there when you want it. But what about here on the interior? Well, I have to tell you guys, when GM first revealed their 2019 trucks, a lot of journalists, TFL included, really jumped on them for their interiors. And in the last month, something happened that made this interior look even worse. The brand new Chevy Tahoe was revealed. Guys, take a look at this. This is the inside of the new Tahoe. Now, we have not seen the GMC Yukon, the GMC version yet. I'm sure it'll be very similar to this, and maybe you guys disagree. Please let me know in the comments, but I think GM really nailed it on that SUV interior, and this truck interior still comes across feeling like last gen's technology. I'm not sure exactly what it is about it. Maybe it's too simple, maybe there's too much plastic, but it just doesn't feel premium the way it needs to when you're trying to compete against Ram and Ford. But with their new SUVs, GM nailed it. So let's wait and see. This is just a prediction, but I think in the next year or two, we might see a revamp on the trucks that includes some of those SUV interior cues. Okay, everybody, we've arrived at our destination in the city, and I've got an impressive number to show you. 9.4 liters per 100 kilometers. Honestly, anything under 10 for a half-ton pickup truck is impressive. Now, I'll remind you, that's all back roads, doing between 80 and 90K. And of course, that means there were stoplights every couple of kilometers. So when you consider that, that's even more impressive for an average number. Now we'll switch the units over to US, and you guys can see that is 24.9 miles per gallon. Again, an impressive number, but you guys know I want 30. So on the way home, we're going to take the highway, and we'll see if we can't get that sucker to climb. At the very least, I'd love to hit 28. Let's see what she'll do. Now we're out here nighttime cruising. Let me just talk you guys through the gauges and what exactly is going on here. So cruise control is set at 110 kilometers an hour, and at that speed, we're cruising along at 1500 RPM, and I'm watching the fuel economy, the instant average. It does definitely jump up and down based on hills, etc., but it's definitely in the 8 to 10 range. 8 to 10 liters per 100 is right where this thing lives while it's cruising on the highway. A real impressive set of numbers, and once again, I think when we get where we're going, it's going to be even lower than our halfway mark, so stay tuned. And here we are, everybody, back at the gas station where we started. So let's zoom in on the gauges here and see what the numbers are. So let's scroll through here. There it is. 180 kilometers, 9.1 liters per 100 average. That is a dang impressive number. We still got 779 to empty, and let's go look at what our best average was. Our best average was 8.6. Nicely done, Sierra. Now for all the US folks, let me go change over my units, and let's see if we actually managed the 28 miles per gallon that I wanted. So our best average was 27.2, which already tells me that I'm probably not going to quite make it. Let's see, 26 miles per gallon even over 112 miles. Dang, Sierra, nice work. That is really not driving specially. That's doing a little bit over the speed limit, regular stops and starts, a little bit of city traffic mixed in. 26 MPG is a dang good number. But let's go fill it up at the pump and then do the math ourselves. All right, she's filled back up. Now let's do some math ourselves. So down here on the receipt, you're gonna see that we used 15.845 liters of diesel, and we used 15.845 over 180.9 kilometers. So on our handy calculator here, you take 15.845, and then you go ahead and divide that by the distance, which is 180.9, multiply by 100 to move the decimal, and we come up with a really respectable 8.7 liters per 100 kilometers. And I'll remind you guys here that the trip computer is actually saying 9.1 per 100. So our math says that the Sierra was even more efficient than what the trip computer says. That is definitely impressive. And now let's go ahead and convert that over to MPG. So for all you folks in the US, you can see it right here, 27.036 miles per gallon. So I didn't quite get my 28 MPG, but I was pretty dang close. Well, everybody, that's it for another day on the road. Me and the Sierra here are beat. We got to get home and go to bed. But there's one thing that this truck proves to me. It is extremely efficient despite how you drive it. And when you do want the power, there is loads of smooth torque right there for you. Honestly, that is what I like to call best of both worlds. So guys, make sure you go below, leave a comment, hit like, hit subscribe. Let me know what you think of this new 3-liter Duramax. And as always, come right back here to the channel as we keep bringing you the latest news, views, and real world reviews. See ya.